That's why. That's what's up. What the hell is going on here?
Mm-hmm. There we
Oh,
go. There
there.
it is. There we go.
You got light in there?
Yeah, I got like.
Lights, camera, action. I don't appreciate you. You get to have your name down there, and I can't have my name on it. Mine says fired up. What's up with that?
I don't know why I do that.
That's because you're on your own separate thing. That's why.
Oh, because I'm on my own system, huh?
Yeah. Uh. All right, you guys. We live. We're live, and
Come on in here now.
let's see.
Let's go.
Let me go live on Facebook. Make sure everybody can see what's going on, what's going down. We got a good show for you guys today,
Yeah.
so we waiting on for a few
Got some
people
heat
to
for
tap
y'all
in.
today. Let's
Okay,
get
I
it.
see, I see, I see some numbers coming up there.
Hold on. Let me do my thing.
Hit us up, let us give us a like and everything, man, so we know. Let's see. So we know y'all there, all right? Whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's YouTube. Marlon's in the house. Hey, y'all, we locked in. How's y'all day been?
What's up,
Y'all
boy?
want to hear about me and Fat Boy's last conversation? I would put it out there so y'all can help me settle it, but I've been not. Fat Boy might get mad. You're right. So
Y'all,
look at it. You're nigga like that nigga.
y'all,
I'm just
come
teasing.
on, man. Come on in here.
I'm just teasing. Yeah. Just come on in here. Oh shit. But anyway, it's all right though. We family. We can
Man,
argue
we
if
in
we
this
want to.
thing.
We you know what I'm saying. That's how we get the understanding about each other. You know what I mean? So we appreciate you guys tapping in. Who else we got in here? Who else we got in here,
We got
y'all?
in
If
here.
you watching, hit us
Who
up.
else? Come on, man,
What's
and
up?
stop being shy in the chat. If you're in there, say you're in there now.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on now, I'm sending it out right now as we speak.
I noticed a lot of people last week that I've actually spoke to that was actually watching and comment that we probably even didn't see the comments. So understand if we don't see the comments, it's probably because it's on Facebook or I don't know, maybe I don't know if it's a setting on you guys' end or whatever, but if not, just go to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe and share it and everything. You know what I mean? And we'll definitely see your comments for sure. I remember one time Nick didn't see the comments or whatever, or didn't have it neither, which was rare. So it could
Yeah.
have been something that's going on with the system, but YouTube usually is more reliable than anything. You know what I mean? So if you guys on YouTube, what's the other one? We got YouTube, Facebook, and we got Twitch. What is Twitch?
Got Twitch.
Twitch, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instagram Live.
Yeah. I got some learning to do to go on Instagram and TikTok because I think it's some other part of the programs I have to get you guys. And then also we got to get our numbers up. You know what I mean? We understand, that people are busy and doing their thing or whatever, but just share and help us get our numbers up. All right. Let me see. What are you doing, Sharon?
Yeah, I'm right here on YouTube right now.
Okay. I'm gonna give you guys two more minutes. You know what I mean? So we can get the show started. We got a lot going on. We got a lot coming up this segment. So if you're watching, just get on here and share to your peoples.
Share, share, like, damn it.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I ain't gone. Don't make me come out there on y'all. Don't make what your mama say. I mean, make me come through this screen.
I know, right?
Come in there, snatch you up. Now, come on now, for real, y'all. Let's send it out. Tap in. How y'all doing today, man? Tell me how y'all doing in the chat. Go on, drop it in there. Where you at? Where you coming from? Where you at? Who we got in here? Where we at? I know we got Ohio. Kansas in the building.
Kansas. Oh shit. Yep, we got Kansas in the building. We got Missouri as usual in the building. I can't do this and share. I'm so I don't know what it is, but me sharing all the time, and then it's kind of like you can't share it to as many as you used to or whatever without looking like it's a spam or something like that or a scam or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like shit. We get it together. All right, one more minute. Y'all ready? One more minute. We about to go ahead and get the show started or whatever. If you're not, if you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. You're gonna miss on some good conversations.
Miss on some game as usual.
Right? Let me see. Oh shit. Let me go here. Okay. Yeah, I got something for y'all new little generations too today, because y'all tripping. Y'all are hipping. You know. All right. Let's go. Let's get it started, man. You ready, fat boy?
Let's get to it, man. Play that dope ass intro, man.
Let's go. Let's go. Where'd it go?
All our illusions will get the parade, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We know.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace. I love y'all.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Reasons on Fired Up Thursday. It's your boy Fuel.
Fat boy in the building. You already know what type of time we on. We here. What's happening, y'all?
That's right. That's right. And we got a heck of a lineup of a show for you guys today. If you guys ain't looking in the caption and see what it is, I'm gonna run it down to you real quick.
Talk to them.
All right. So we talking about relationships as usual. You know, sexual, or is it sexual or is it emotional? You know what I mean? You know, why does the new generation don't like the 90-day rule? Yeah. Then we're talking about, of course, depressed. Have you been depressed lately? And we're going to try to keep it a little light and a little more at home or whatever, to, you know, just have a conversation that might help others that's been in a mental state of depression at times and stuff like that, you know, as to what actually really helped us, and not really the things that, you know, that you read about and the statistics of it and all of that. Is basically what may have helped or whatever, that, you know, so that helped us, that can probably help you as well. Then we got the history and black with the writer James Baldwin, right? So let's get it started. Oh, Damon. Oh yeah, we got to talk about Don Lemon too as well, being fired from CNN. You know, so we got that going. You know, but we want to start it off. We want to start it off with a nice condolence and prayers to Jamie Foxx.
Jay Fox.
Yes, been hospitalized and stuff like that. And I'll let Fat Boy tell them what's going on about Jamie Foxx for those that don't know.
Well, I think if not this week or last week, according to the sources, says that Jamie Foxx was found unresponsive, that he died and was brought back to life pretty much. They're not saying what it is actually. They're saying medical complications, but he is in a hospital and he is doing better. He's recovering. But prior to that, I was doing a little research. They said that he was kind of being a little hard on set. So I don't know if he's going through some stress in or outside the house, or maybe they was disrespecting him as a star that he is. Mm-hmm. And so, but he is doing well. So like Fuel said, prayers go out to him. It's kind of weird, y'all, because they're not fully disclosing what happened. It's just saying medical conditions, like I said. So that to me is like a red flag. And either he doesn't want anybody to know, or it was something a little more serious, like a heart attack. They said because he had because he suffers from blood pressure, that it could have caused clots in the brain, which can cause heart attack.
Yeah, sometimes you know,
or
I think
stroke. I'm sorry, a stroke.
Yeah, sometimes the media are left too in the dark because they don't want, you know, the family or whoever might not want them to blow things out of proportion, especially too soon. You know how rumors can get misunderstood, you know, when something like this seriously go on and someone tells you the wrong BS or, you know, about what's going on, and then, you know, the big rumors out. Simmons in the house. Wonderful. Jamie got the vaccine. Wonder if he got the vaccine. Oh,
probably.
How do you pronounce? Is it Oranzi?
Oranzi.
Oh, okay. I want to make
What's up, Big O?
I wanted to say I said it. Might make sure I said it right. But yeah, wonder if he got the vaccine. That's interesting. There, that every time when someone gets sick or whatever, we wonder like, will they vaccinate? You know, because people are still getting COVID, man. Shouts out to Carrie. Carrie is, you know, one of our faithful viewers, you know, and she had COVID. So hope you get through it well. Hope you better now.
Shout out to you, Carrie.
Yeah, she just told me, she just texted me like maybe 2 or 3 days ago and said she had COVID. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna check up with her after the show and see if make sure she's okay and everything, whatever. But get well soon to you too as well.
Get well to you soon, Carrie. For real.
Yeah. But yeah, so the other crazy thing is that they continue to finish the film. Do you know the name of the film, Fat Boy, that he's supposed to be doing? Or
yeah, I have it here. It's on Netflix. Hold on, let me get the actual name of it. It's on Netflix. It's called Back in Action with co-starring Cameron Diaz.
Okay, so it's an action flick, or it sounds like.
It sounds like an action flick, but it sounded like he was giving her a hard time on the set too. So,
oh wow,
he probably drugged Jamie, man. I'm just playing.
That's true. It could some foul could have been going on or whatever, man. But
you know, Hollywood is a tricky place, man.
Yeah, and the fact that they replaced him with a stunt person or whatever.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get into that in a minute.
Yeah, how do they get around that?
Man, listen, Hollywood, man, listen, you here today, you going tomorrow, man. That's how it is. The show must go on. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it was Jamie Foxx, but man, they've been doing this for years. I'm not shocked. Yeah. The production must go on. You know that, man. You know better than ever, man.
Yeah. Well, once again, like we said, prayers go out to him.
Prayers go out to Jamie, man. I hope you do a timely recovery, man. I hope you take this time to get your mind right, your health right, your emotions right, man, your spirit right. God was talking to you, and telling you either humble thyself or get your health right, or both. You know what I'm saying? So my prayers go out to you, and take this as a blessing, man, and move forward adequately and accurately.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go to the comment. Let me see what we got real quick. But the vaccine is hurting people also. They're not talking about that.
No, they're not. They're not. But the vaccine messing people up. Well, I knew it was anyway.
Did you get? You got the? Didn't you get it?
Hell no.
You never got this. Hey, maybe that's why we had our discussion early, because I had it.
Oh yeah, you got the heebie-jeebies. My girl got it too.
Who
my
did?
girl got it too. She had to get it though.
Oh, okay, yeah, because of her work.
Because of work, yeah.
Now, did she already have COVID? Has she already had it before? COVID?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cool. Yeah, man. So, if you got it, I mean, I don't know if that is the case, because we probably won't never find out if that's the case or whatever, when it comes to these illness now, because, I mean, especially if you're getting them boosters and how many ever shots you take. I only did the first 2, dog. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't messing with it.
You needed a booster.
No, I ain't doing no damn booster.
Hey,
I basically only did it because of I had two close friends that three close friends that almost passed away. You know what I'm
from
saying?
COVID?
Huh?
From COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the only reason I said it, because I just promised myself if it gets close to home, then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? But and that's basically what happened. But uh, I'm all right, I think.
I hope. You just tell what you think. You're gonna start
I
growing an
think I'm
extra arm or something on
okay.
this field. Or we're gonna
Exactly.
start growing into a mutated species, man.
Right.
That damn COVID vaccine. But no, all jokes aside, man, it could be a numerous of things. Like Big O said, it could be the vaccine, it could just be health, man. And then being a man like Jamie Foxx, who's constantly busy, man, it could just be stressed and just being overworked. It could be just maybe time for a vacation or something. That's all.
True. Well, man, let's get in this. Oh man, let's get into this thing about Don Lemon.
Don Lemon, man.
Fired from CNN. I haven't been checking it out. Don Lemon has been fired from CNN. But from a comment that he made. You want to go over this, Fat Boy? You want me to go?
You can go ahead over the comment because I don't think it was because of the comment, but go ahead.
Well, the comment supposedly has been from another person. I think he was Indian that was on his show, right? And here, let me find it real quick. Hold on, sorry guys. I got so much stuff going on over here. I had to find my page.
Yeah, I heard about the comment, but it looked like they've been trying to get rid of Don Lemon for a little while now, actually. So
yeah, but I think the problem was with this whole interview that he had with this guy, and I'm gonna try to see if I can bring it up real quick. Was that he kept telling Don that he was being I guess I don't know if he's saying disrespectful or misinformed about our own race. You know what I'm saying? And basically, Don was kind of giving him the rundown on what our culture has been through, and what our race has, have not still overcame or whatever, and he felt that the guy that was actually Indian was watering it down. You know what I'm saying? And so basically, with him, being the correspondent that he is, he kind of took over, of course, the interview and then cut it like where he should. But the thing is, the problem with they so-called was supposed to be having was because someone was in his ear while he was doing this conversation with him, and basically Don went off script and basically spoke his mind, the real shit. You know what I'm saying? And so when people hear real situations, the real problems, whatever, and not scripted or told, puppet wise to tell what to say and what not to say, then they get upset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's basically what has been, that's what happened with him. Go ahead, Fat Boy.
I seen a few of it. I said it was something he was being degrading to women, and then it was the race thing. Like I said, man, I just think that they've been trying to get rid of Don Lemon for a while now. Come to find out is also that CNN is now under new management. And so the new management hadn't been seeing eye to eye with Don Lemon for a while now. And because he's been there for 17 years and because he has this staunch following, of course, they had to publicly flog him. You know how just the media does an African-American male. And so after they publicly flogged him and made him seem like, he didn't know what he was talking about, or he was bashing this, or he was taking lightly the black plight and all of these things, when we know that Don Lemon has been on the front line for women's rights, when he's been on the front line for for African-American equality and the voice. And so we know that was all smoking mirrors, or I do. So shout out to Don Lemon and may he hold his head and keep doing what he's doing. But they're under new management. They were trying to get rid of him anyway. And then I wouldn't be shocked if they were responsible for the allegations that was brought up against him in Hampton earlier this year. or 2020 or
about
so.
about the what was her name? Was the secretary, not secretary to
No, about him sexually harassing some guy, something like that.
Oh, really?
At a bar. Yeah. He went off on a co-host. They've been trying to get at him for a minute. They tried to make it seem like he yelled at a co-host live. On
I know the problem with the Senate was what's the Senate representative or whatever, the white lady.
Oh yeah, he made a comment about her not being in her prime. They was trying to get him then.
Right.
I think that, you know, for the last few weeks or so, or last year or two, since they've been under new management, they've been just trying to get Don Lemon out of there. And what it really is, and really probably boils down to, is people. Don contractor's probably coming up, man, and they didn't really want to pay the money. They'll rather pay the unemployment than the 20 to 40 to 50 to 60 million that they have to pay him with the ratings. I'm seeing that even during their slump in ratings, he's still maintained the #1 show. And so he's basically been carrying them. And so it has to be a reason why they let him go. And then they dropped that BS PR and talking about how they're following him in all of his endeavors, and he's still a part of the CNN family. But they had demoted him anyway because he was on prime time television.
Yeah.
And they demoted him to a morning show, and that thrived and that did its thing. And so
that's what I said. Wherever he went, I mean, he basically, you know what I'm saying, had a good following and made his mark. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the one thing that I admire most about him is that he didn't really, at least from what I've seen as far as the interviews and people trying to find out what went on or how he feel, what's he going to do, you know. And the first thing he was talking about, like, he's going to vacation. And so, and then he was like, well, what do you feel about how your coworkers may feel? Whether he was like, ask the co-host, ask the coworkers. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me that. Like, in other words, I don't give a shit how, whatever they feel or think or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I already know that he felt like that they basically let him go and didn't give him any kind of warning. But they're saying that there was a tweet or whatever that basically was kind of giving him, you know, heads up of him leaving.
Yeah, and they also said that the upper management reached out to him.
Right.
It's all BS. Of course, they, you know, black man with I want to see if the LGBTQ steps up for him.
Do you think that's necessary though right now?
I do.
Really?
Because I think that if this was a white man, this was Anderson Cooper, they'll be lying in front of CNN right now.
Yeah.
And so I want to see the reactions of the LGBTQ, of them doing this to someone who's been a spokesman, a front runner. Right?
Why you say just the LGBTQ? Why not just
of course the African American, we standing with it. But I feel like we can say all we want, but nobody stands for us. You know that.
I mean, but I'm saying if you know, if it's not a LGBTQ type, it's not a that type of.
It is though.
It is. Oh, okay.
To me, it is because he's a. I feel like if it had been, even though it wasn't any derogatory statement made.
What happened
towards the community?
You froze for a second.
That community.
Why you been? For some reason, you starting to freeze now.
Publicly.
Yeah. Is that your connection over there? I think something.
So.
Oh, there you go.
What you
no, I think your end. I think it's slow or something on Fat Boy's end. Let me make sure. I'm looking at I'm looking at your signal, and it looks like it's slow on your end. Maybe position your what's the name in some kind of way. It's like it's kind of slow on your end for some reason. But anyway, I see that signal. Are you there now? Yeah, you freezing. He's freezing in and out. I don't know what it is, though. Hey, fat boy, go in and come back in. Go out and come back in.
Yeah, I'm here.
If you can hear me. Hey, go out and come back in, and I'll get you back in. Yeah, there we go. It works. All right. If you guys got comments about Don Lemon being fired, tell us what you feel about that. Fat Boy was just saying about the LPG. I don't even know I don't even know how to even put it, but he was saying that that they should be or wanting to see if they back him as well. You know what I'm saying? But there we go. All right, that's better.
There we go.
Whatever that was, yeah, something. I don't know
what happened.
Yeah.
So
You guys got any
I was saying that I think that they'll stand up for less. I think that I would like to see them come out for him, and stand up and say something. Yeah. I think that, like I said, if this was Anderson Cooper, they definitely would be out there at CNN on their ass. Right. I know they would. So I just want to see some justice done. We're gonna speak. All black people gonna stand up for it. Am I here?
Yeah, you're there.
Okay, there. Yeah. But once again, man, every week they find a way to find a way, and it's also something that just shows Don Lemon that no matter how much success that you have, man, you just can't avoid the long hand of white supremacy, brother.
Right. And and that's the thing. It's kind of like, for some reason, why for some reason there's beginning to be more and more of this race prejudice lately. Why?
Because I've been saying this for a while now, man. Since Obama, which I love Obama, so it's no disrespect or no slight to Obama, but since Obama, we have this understanding, and we talked about this last time, that the good old boys are gone. Mm-hmm. The illusion, the mindset, the perpetuation of white supremacy doesn't exist anymore. Bigotry is somehow gone away, right? We're under this illusion that people don't think like that anymore. We date outside our races, and can you hear me? You see me?
Yeah, I'm there. You there?
Okay. We date outside our races. We hippies in some ways, right? We're not realizing that realistically, behind closed doors, conversations are being had and they're not positive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When it's involving race, when it's involving equality, when it's involving justice, especially for African Americans here in this country.
Also, when it's evolving to the point of when someone, especially as a black or any culture, but really mainly the black culture, when they get to a certain level and venture out to, be themselves for themselves, and it's feel like, I think it's feel like it's taken out of the pockets of the white man, to the point where they retaliate, they retaliate with all this negativity about you, thing about you or whatever, to make you look bad, to try to, bring you down type of thing. It's kind of like you get to a,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just to continue the perpetuation of the illusion of white supremacy, to knock this so-called Negro off his high horse.
Yeah.
And he's been living on one for the last 6 or 7 years, so they couldn't wait to dethrone him. Best believe it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's crazy, man. You guys got any comments? I don't see any comments up there. What's up? Ain't nobody talking? What's up? Talk to us, baby.
Where y'all at now? Jump on out there.
Right. And like I said, if you're on Facebook, I seen somebody comment on Facebook, but I didn't see the name. So She said correct, or he said correct. Whoever said correct. Give us your name. Let us know who you are watching. Lynn was on here, and it was Lenny, and I didn't realize I know her. That, you know what I'm saying. So if you're here and you commenting, let me see you on. I need to see you on YouTube. On YouTube, you know what I'm saying. Also, let's get into it. Let's get into the next one, which is history and blackness. You know, and I thought this was a good person you brought up for history and blackness, man. So. But I'm gonna let you do the honors because I messed you up last time.
Oh no, for real, no, for real. Today,
so do the honors, though.
Today I bring you guys, ladies and gentlemen, the so-called American Negro. No, I'm just playing. I bring you a jewel today. I bring you James Baldwin. James, man. After I looked this up, man, I was. With no high school education, people. I mean, with only a high school education. We didn't talk about Zora Neale Hurston, the doctors, and all of that. One of the pivotal and pioneer members of the civil rights movement, of the Harlem Renaissance, all only with the high school education.
Yeah.
James Baldwin, born August 2nd, 1924. Harlem Hospital, Harlem, New York City, of course. He died in St. Paul, France. And as I said, for his activism, he was a frontline activist during the civil rights movement, friends with MLK, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Maya Angelou, just to name a few. He described to me, I picked him because he described the Black plight so intelligently and so eloquently. He's probably one of the greatest orators that I know. When I hear him speak, he's been on the Cabbage Show. He's done speeches at UCLA and Cambridge, at Harvard and Cambridge. He's been at Oxford. I mean, he's a gem. In his career between the ages 14 and 16, he was an active preacher for a small revivalist church in New York City. Mm-hmm. During this time is where he started to write his first book, which was later published in 1953, called Go Tell It on the Mountaintop, which is one of his best films. Prior to that, prior to him releasing the book, he left for France in 1948. He got out of America due to the racial prejudice that was in America. He fled to France and stayed in France and wrote all of his masterpiece. Later returning sometime during the civil rights movement, where he was a fixture on the Cabbage Show and like I say, at speeches at Cambridge and Oxford, where he talked about the African American plight in America, and where he acknowledged that the African American plight, or the so-called Negro's plight, is America's plight. Because as long as we ignore what's happening to the American Negro, then the world will continue to be the way that it is. So tap in with James Baldwin. Some of the notable books: Giovanni's Room in 1965, Notes of Native Son, If Bell Street Could Talk in 1974, which was made a movie where Regina King won Best Supporting Actress in it. The Fire Next Time, which is one of my favorite novels, and then a book and a small film as well that he didn't get to finish, but it's called I Am Your Negro, or something. I Am Not Your Negro.
I'm not your Negro. It's called I'm Not Your Negro.
Talks about Malcolm X and MLK and his relationships between the two, and how they were similar but different in their approaches. Just some fun facts about him, because I know Fuel has some stuff. In 2000,
I'm letting you take it all today, because I took part of
scholar Molifi Kiti Ashanti included James Baldwin on his list of 100 greatest African Americans. He has a street named after him called Baldwin Court in Bayview neighborhood in San Francisco. That's named after him. And then at the age of 15, James met a painter named Beaufort Delaney, who became his mentor, who of course got him into writing and it kind of expanded his mind. You guys, you have to do your research on James Baldwin. I just gave you small bits and pieces of him. I think he's a presidential award winner. The honoree gives that, I forget what the name of the medal. Presidential Medal of Honor. He was awarded one of those. One of the greatest writers of our times in the Western world. So shout out to James Baldwin. Make sure you do your research. Go pick up a book. Like I say, my favorite is The Fire Next Time, and then I go tell it on the mountaintop. But Giovanni's is a bestseller, so you might want to start with Giovanni's Room.
And I don't know if you, I didn't know if you mentioned, just like a lot of us, African American that grew up in poverty, that he's grown up in poverty, but one of the characteristics that he had or whatever, and that was, that's always something that we never tap in on when it comes to a lot of these African Americans that are successful or great or done something great for the country, their religion, you know what I'm saying? And he was a preacher at an age of between 14 16 years old, I believe. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, he had, so he was a God-fearing, young man as well, or religious in some ways or some aspect as well, which a lot of these that we talk about and that we cover are those type of people, you know what I'm saying? So that might say something. I don't know. We'll see, but it might say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So shouts out for him and
James Baldwin.
Baldwin. It's James Arthur Baldwin, I think is the middle name. Arthur, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out for him. And that's our history and blackness, baby. Good job, man. You nailed that one, dog. Because I shut up.
No, for real. That's what it was. Last time you jumped on in there.
I didn't say that.
Put your meat in the potatoes.
I'll let it go. Next time I have mine now. That's what's up. Mom's in the house.
Hey, moms, what's happening? Mom said Adol Ramsey makes you wonder a lot of stars that took the vaccine have been experiencing illnesses that come out of nowhere, unexplainable medical problems. That's deep. I never thought about that.
Right. Lenny's in the house. What's up, Lynn? Lynn, hey. I'm speaking.
Lynn,
I knew you had last time I didn't speak. I'm speaking. What's up?
Hey, Lynn. Miss Lynn Johnson says, please remind me of a white Hispanic Asian newscaster that was fired where they said something nice. I agree they should, not disputing that issue. Absolutely. I agree. I think the LGBT community should step up and do at least be a voice. I mean, I've seen them step up for less. And so he's a proud gay man and was mistreated publicly. And I would like to see what they do about it.
Yeah. Mom said, Lenny, absolutely, there are none. And that's true.
Absolutely.
It's none. There are none. She said, thanks to you. Thanks, moms, to that. Mom said, very profound writers and huge inspiration and participant of the civil rights movement, which is why few of his books have been viewed as critical race theory. Ooh, that really.
As was, we got another comment that just popped up. As was Baldwin, a gay man. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up with you?
Giovanni's room is actually loosely based on him discovering his relationship with the man in France, actually. So you're absolutely right. I wasn't even gonna say that. I wasn't even gonna do that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely was a gay man. And let me tell you something about that. James Baldwin is the one that made me rethink my ideology on the LGBT community.
Oh, really? Like, how so?
Because I'm glad you asked. James Baldwin was a gay man who was forced to have a family. So he has a family, he had a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so to think about a person who is forced because it's not the norm, right?
Like
He's
Caitlyn.
forced to live a certain way when that's just not the way that he sees himself. And so it made me realize that even though I don't agree with something, I cannot force my views on someone else, because
Right.
you can then make someone live a life that they don't want to. And
True.
James Baldwin had to endure that until he fled to France and was able to actually live out the rest of his life as a gay man. But during the 1940s and 50s, that was a no-go. And
Right.
so imagine having to have a wife and have children,
Right.
and secretly in love with the man. You know, no disrespect. That's a tough thing to deal with. And so once I really digested that and really ran through that, I had so much more respect for him,
Right.
because unlike now, as a gay man, he stood for his plight was the American Negro, and him as a gay man was secondary.
Mhm.
And I always respected that about him. So you knew that he was a gay. Well, if you didn't know, if you knew, you did. If you didn't, you didn't. Right?
Right.
But because he carried himself strong, not even masculine, just with a great mindset, not
Yeah.
afraid, not anything that you would think of have a feminine trait per se,
Right.
as you would see now. When you see men who identify as gay men,
Mhm.
there was a certain he was definitely the definition of it's my sexual preference
Yeah.
is not my reality.
Okay. Got you.
There it
All
is.
right. All right. What I love about him though was that he was always put his identity as a black man before his sexuality identity.
Absolutely.
He
Yep.
understood the necessity to push us forward as black people first.
I didn't even see that,
That's a
Katina.
good,
But absolutely. Right. He was amazing.
so
He
I
was
mean,
amazing.
it makes you wonder, how many others had to do the same. You know what I'm saying? Especially back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Lenny said, "Amen, fat boy."
Thank you, Lenny. I
Yes,
appreciate
yes,
that.
indeed. Yeah. So shouts out to him. Man. All right, so let's get into this. We're on the road, man. We rolling
Yeah, we
today.
doing good today.
Depression. And that's I kind of wanted to touch on this because and I'm asking the question to those that might have been depressed lately, and didn't know how to get through it, or didn't know, without the medication, and I think a lot of people don't understand that they can get through depression at times without having medication, just by being in the right mental state of mind. And when I say the right mental state of mind, is sometimes it might sound crazy. It might sound like at the time, because I've been there. I've been there at the time to where I felt like, giving up. I felt like, it ain't working. Somebody else is either doing this or doing that to me, or what I'm saying. And it was just all negative energy. You know what I'm saying, that I would get from other people, or whatever, to the point where I did a few simple things. One is to quit hanging around them. Quit being around anybody that's going to be in a negative state of mind. And when you're basically in that emotion and being depressed or whatever, then that adds on to it and make you feel like that it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And you ended up going down the sinkhole further and further and further because you feel like that, it's okay, but it's not okay. And I'm saying this, you guys, not as an expert. As you see, I said as a conversation to have that might help, because I'm not an expert. I just know what I've experienced. I know what other people experience, to the point where instead of me trying to give you statistics and give you, what doctors, say this and doctors say that or whatever, I'm giving you real time personal situations, to the point where hopefully this could help you guys. And one of the things that's helped me, believe it or not, and I know everybody's gonna say prayer, you know what I mean, but prayer does help. Yeah, prayer does help. But sometimes I had to push myself into putting myself in a different atmosphere, in a different state of mind, in a point where I would not listen or hear anyone else when it comes to negativity. And believe it or not, that drew me out of it. Even though if I wasn't successful at it, if I was slow at it, or whatever the case would be, I had to figure out, but you know what? I'm going on my time, on my pace. You know what I mean? And when it happens, when things are supposed to happen for me, it happens. So I just changed my way, and perceptions to what's going on around me and in this world or whatever, to take that and just kind of blow it away. It's cool. I mean, it happened or whatever, but now that's back. What's coming up for tomorrow? Let's go. You see what I'm saying? So that's been kind of like one of my, basically, I don't want to say remedies, but that's what I like to do, or would do, in order to get over depression. So that's one thing, but we'll keep going. And I see, I don't want to be the only one talking about it or whatever. So what you got for?
Depression, man, serious. Lately I haven't been. I've been doing my therapy, man. So that's helped me a lot, tremendously. But depression is real. Realizing that you are battling depression, I think, is a big thing. And Katina says something that's very powerful. If you wanted to pull it up real quick,
yeah,
I want to comment.
Yeah, I was going to get into that. Yeah.
But what she said was, so many men need to talk about depression. I'm sad that y'all all have not been given the opportunity to deal with your emotions. It leads to so many negative things. And I agree. As we begin to unpack things, it's certain things that affect me. It's certain things that I don't talk about. And then once I start to unpack them, I see that they affect me and bother me more than ever. They're the reason why I act the way that I act. But the way that I've been able to deal with my depression is, I think, really two things: is just accountability and learning to not be shameful.
Yeah. I think that's very important, what you just said. Not being shameful of basically what's been going on with
what's been going on, and realizing that you are at the point where you are because you need to be there. I think that is key, that as men, especially, that we go talk to somebody. I think that for so long we've been taught the only way to properly express emotion is through anger. And the only way that we
man up.
properly man up or properly communicate, which becomes anger. That man up turns into anger. And so we've been basically molded and just turned into these people who are not able to properly express themselves, which causes depression. And so what I've done is I've started to verbalize and communicate more of how I feel. which can be challenging, which I'm learning.
Yeah.
Because as my therapist says, that because you express and you communicate it, people aren't supposed to respond to your to what you're communicating like you want them to. And the fact that they don't respond like you want them to, the fact that you shut down could also help cause the depression and the trauma that you go through. And so it's kind of like a learning process and a challenge to where you express anyhow, you verbalize anyhow, even if it's not acknowledged, even if it's taken on dead ears, even if it's heard but it's rebuttal, you still continue to hold a level head and express and verbalize and communicate how you feel.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it is the number one thing for depression.
Yeah.
Um,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Go
No, I
ahead.
was going to say. I think another thing is, and I think that's been helping me is exercising my mind. Exercise my mind to when I start thinking of something negative, how to basically turn it into a positive. How to understand and look at say for instance, even the journey that we're on now, as far as getting our new place and everything and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Exercise my mind or whatever to know that it's coming in the time, not always the time I want it to, but in time when God says, "Hey, this is this one's right here. This is it right here." You know what I'm saying? And not worry about the negativity of other people thinking, "Oh wow, they're not successful. They didn't do it. They don't have any views. They don't do all that." Funk that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Funk that. You know what I mean? To the point where I just exercise my mind to not to say to ignore it, because I mean we're all human. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get in our down mode, but then you have to start thinking, whatever, how to not, let it take over you. You know what I'm saying? When you start losing time and days and in the dark and by yourself, and constantly thinking by yourself, whatever, that's what draws you deeper into the depressions. Especially, I mean, I'm saying this as in a man's point of view, because I know women's biological clocks and their emotions are a lot different from ours. You know what I mean? And there's a little different thing. So if you guys want to share as to, what maybe y'all have done to overcome and help y'all to, get out of the funk of when you feel like you're in a depressed stage or whatever, share with us, share that with us. But that's basically what kind of helps me is to exercise my mind to look at whatever negative around is, there's a positive to it as well. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing, whatever. So, we got some comment. Hold on. How did depression show up for you? Symptoms. Oh. Katina, it was being by myself. It showed up for me. My symptom was almost more of a lonely being lonely or being alone and having too much to think at times. I think that was a symptom to where I started drowning or started kind of going down, but I had, I got to a point where I had to bring myself out of it because I was alone. I didn't have the people to talk to, like Fat Boy is saying, have someone to talk to or whatever, but I didn't have anyone to talk to because I was more so embarrassed. I was more so unsatisfied with what was going on. And I was more so like, look, it was just discomforting to talk to someone about what's really going on or whatever. So that's why I agree with Fat Boy as well, to have someone that you can talk to, whether even if it is a therapist or a friend or, and someone that's optimistic and open and not to say, oh man, get over that, you know what I'm saying? But so able to understand what you're going through or what you're talking about to be able to. Lynn said, if someone shows negativity, problem, you don't have to engage. That's true. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm learning though, Lenny.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm learning.
Yeah.
It is so hard to even think about karma. I see what you said next. It's so hard to think about those things when you're learning how to battle and challenge the emotions. Sometimes negative energy at the wrong moment can shift your how you were thinking. You were just prepared for it, but then the negative energy just makes you unprepared. So I'm learning. That's the challenge that I face on how to, once again, like I said earlier, receive how to take how people respond, whether it's negative, whether it's traumatic, and be able to maintain an even mind and an even spirit, and how to keep my wits when everyone around me is losing theirs. I'm still human and God's still working on me, but you're absolutely right. And for the symptoms, drinking. I was drinking a lot. And then anger, pride, and shame. Those were my symptoms.
Yeah. 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 I think that, and that's being mine as far as the pride, as far as pride and shame. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's because you just sometimes feel like things ain't happening where you want it as fast as you want it to, or whatever. But you say you speak to a therapist. And does that therapist give you an exercise that you actually use and that you actually go? Because sometimes, we can listen to somebody, we can listen to a therapist or whatever, but do we actually take those actions or whatever for the exercise? And do you feel that people that don't just don't take it seriously, or what?
Absolutely. I've been trying to, but what I do is, if y'all see this, I write notes every session. Nothing too crazy, just basic, just little small stuff, little notes. Like today, let's just go to today. And I didn't date it either. Today, just one of my notes is, it's not servicing you, let it go. And it's meaning like, when it involves like things we use to survive, whether it's pride, whether it's anger, whether it's defense mechanism. We do that because we're either ashamed or prideful or whatever. Right. And so she was talking about, if it doesn't service you, kind of let it go. But she does, to answer your question, she does give me things to do. Like, I think one of them was like 4 things you can see, 2 things you could touch, 3 things you could smell, and I gotta listen there over there. Do that. You can do that, or
now that when she tell you this, sometimes you feel like it's corny, and I ain't trying to do.
It's a lot of it. Like I told her today, a lot of times I leave with egg on my face because she be saying some bullshit at the time. For real, because you be really wanting to let people know how you feel, but what she does is she gives you the power and you don't even know it. And so once you get out your own way and you start putting her shit into play, you start to realize, like, damn, I kind of been leading myself down this depression or down these bad conversations, because if I would have just, one of the things I learned is, if I would have just entered the conversation for information instead of to respond, I would have took the information and I wouldn't even been in this. And it's just little small things.
Say that part again. Say that last part you just said. If you took the conversation.
Well, so you're supposed to listen for information, not listen to respond. And so that's what she's been teaching me. And in the book I just finished reading, the 5.
Because the response in a negative way to where it stays in your state of mind of whatever that they're talking about, or whatever that she's trying to the information she's trying to give you. You know what I'm saying? Is that why you don't really, the whole exercise is not to respond?
No, the whole exercise is to gain information.
Okay.
And to, within that information, use it, right? And so you can be empathetic. You can use it for later and keep it with you. You're supposed to acknowledge it. Right. Hey, I hear what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. Once you do that, you take your emotions out of it in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you a lot of times we listen to respond, and we only listen to respond because we're in the defensive. We're in a defensive. It's a part of our defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you start to, what she's also started to do, taught me, is to ask why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask why. Recognize the feeling and ask where it comes from. Where does it stem from? So if I'm angry, why am I angry? Where does it stem from?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
That is a good. That's a
I'm
good
mad because
point.
I'm mad because he cut me off. What emotion was strong? Well, I was raged for, I was angry, or my feelings was hurt because I've been in here all day. And you had hurt feelings. Well, why was your hurt feelings? Well, when I was 6, my mom, and then they go all the way back to
All
that.
the way,
Like,
yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
this is some shit I'm reacting to off some shit I was 6,
Yeah.
or 5, or 10, or 12, or
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so that's a lot of things she taught me.
That's a good point. That's a good point though, because a lot of us do react off of certain things of how we actually grown up, how we, as a child, that's been embedded in our minds that we never learned to actually come out of or get out of. You know what I'm saying? Up until that situation, or until she, basically brought it out of you, or whatever the case would be. You just didn't realize, you didn't recognize it, the therapist.
No, I'm telling you, you need to.
Because
I'm encouraging it, man. Like I told my therapist today, minus the little small kinks I go through, this is probably the happiest I've ever been in my life, man. Far as being able to chase my dream, but being able to verbalize how I feel, but then also be able to take control over my own emotions. And then also unpack all of the trauma that I had. And with that, learning not to be shameful, and learning to sometimes listen for information, and all of those things have become helping me to become a better man, which I appreciate. I never really cared about a lot of things, especially emotional stability.
Right.
And I think that this has allowed me to, by tackling my traumatic issues or my emotional state, has allowed me to think about my future. I think when I was
it allowed you to keep that open mind about like you said, your future, and what you want, and what, you know what I'm saying, and keep that focus. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, you guys, that, like he said, or whatever, having that to, because sometimes when you get into a depressive mode, when you get in that stage or whatever, time go past. Times don't wait for nobody. Time go past, and before you realize it, a week that went by, 2 weeks that went by, when you could have been actually accomplishing something, whatever those goals were or whatever, that's going to get you further. So by you doing that and having therapy and being able to talk about somebody, that keeps you constantly working on what you need and what you want. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, so I get that, and I'm going to give me your therapist number.
The best in the business.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's very hard for us as Black men and entrepreneurs to, stay in that positive state of mind sometimes. It is really hard for us or whatever, because you have all the odds are against you. People are against you, even your own people. You know what I'm saying?
Especially your own person. Sometimes those who's closest to you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you have everybody that's, just want to just take from you, then basically, grow with you, that type of thing. And that can really get people down, especially when you have, I've seen people, Black businesses or whatever that I've supported that, if it's, I don't care if, oh man, there was this lady, Fat Boy, that made these cakes. Oh my God. I'm telling you, she was the best. You know what I'm saying? And then they having these cake shows and stuff like that or whatever. This lady should have been there. you know. But she went into that stage or whatever where, you know, she wasn't getting the support. People was taking. They want discount here, discount there, whatever, you know, and that bothered her and that took her down. That took her in a hole. You know what I mean? And
of course,
you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was, you know, it's things like that or whatever, you guys, and that's another, you know, symptom, you know what I'm saying, that basically that are warning signs that, you know, that you can have when it comes to depression, you know, surrounding you, trying to just take, you know, and want to discount success and helping you being successful or whatever on a positive note, that type of thing. So, you know, so yeah, man, that's I had to get it off my chest every now and then, man, because like I said, we talk mental health or whatever, and depression in real time is real, and we just like to have a conversation, you know. So I appreciate you guys listening. Something that we've just said helped when it comes to that, you know what I mean? But and if you guys, I don't care, you can write us, hit us up if it's something we need to talk about, or if you even want to come on the show and just kind of like vent something out or whatever, hit us up, you know what I'm saying, at fireupbroadcasting@gmail.com, you know, and we'll get you in. We get you in, you know what I'm saying? All right, man, let's get into this next one. Let's get into this next one. We're doing pretty good on time. Why the generations don't like the
you're gonna have to take the lead on this one.
Huh?
You're gonna have to take the lead on this one.
Okay. Yeah, because you know, I'm pretty bothered about it. Our young generation. I'm pretty bothered about our young generation that downplaying and watering down the 90-day rules, especially, you know, the disrespect that you're giving the women, or the backlash that you're giving the women about the being on the 90-day rules. If you guys haven't been watching TikTok and haven't been watching all these other, you know, YouTube or shorts and stuff like that, when and I don't know, I'm not even gonna say the name or anything like that, but there was a cat on there, and I'm sure y'all have seen it, to where they be like, well, the 90-day rules, you know, well, if I can't have you, and it takes 90 days before you can decide whether you want me or not or whatever, then I'm gonna take 90 days before I pay for this or take you out, or, you know what I'm saying? That type of attitude is ignorance to me. That's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Because now you basically, the 90-day rules or whatever, and as we grew up, and maybe your parents haven't brought you up to this in this way or whatever, to understanding what 90-day rule really is. You know what I'm saying? Because the 90-day rules is respect each other emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Having fun, you know, physically or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can still be in love. You can still care about that person. You know, if you're basically thinking in your mind all the time of what you're spending, what you have to do and all that or whatever, then you ain't going to last long anyway, period. You know what I'm saying? So these young cats or whatever that's coming out with this attitude or whatever about what they're not going to do or whatever because she's not putting out, or it's going to take too long to figure out whether they want to be with you. You know, women, this is for y'all ladies. Fuck them. Period. You know what I'm saying? Just be done with them. Because basically, you know, if that's the type of respect they're going to give you, then just think what they're going to do once they do get you. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is more so for the younger generation, because I was kind of pissed about, you know, seeing this so much or whatever, how people are actually, you know, downplaying these rules or whatever, that because of a woman that wants respect, a woman that wants, you know, to see who you genuinely really are. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, sexual emotions can get in and clog your minds or whatever. And sometimes you have people that need to be clear about what they're getting into when it comes to you. You know what I'm saying? So if you got the attitude that you have, that you don't want to support or don't you want to do anything or whatever, especially if you got a woman that has kids, you know what I'm saying? They want to see, like, you know, how he going to be with my kids? You know what I'm saying? How he's going to be whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a point to all this. There's a point to it. So if there's a point to it, ladies, don't let them shy you down. And if I'm messing up game, oh well, I'm messing up game. Because that way, women, you need to be respected as you should be when you want to figure out if that person is the right person for you. I had to put it out there. I had to get it out, dog. All right, I'll let you have it from there.
I'm gonna get into these comments. Marlon jumped in there quick.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Marlon said, respectfully, I gotta disagree to a point. A lot of folks be capping. Oftentimes, they may not like you, so they use that as a scapegoat.
Okay, but that's the point. That's basically what I'm saying, Marlon. Though, you know what I mean? If it's an issue, if it's an issue, they use it for or whatever the case be. It's gonna win anyway. And yes, maybe a bit wasted time or whatever the case may be. Now you rather know in 90 days, in 90 years, 30 years, force or whatever, because maybe that's probably something that they should have done. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they should have had that or whatever. Here you got another one. For example, these exact things used to be said to me when I was younger, but the minute in my career it was accessible. It was hold on, say it again.
It says, for example, these exact things used to be said to me when I was younger, but the minute on in my career it was accessible. I'm guessing saying like the moment that he was on his way, now all of a sudden they got action. I do think that this is my thing about the 90-day rule. I think that if it's genuine, go with it. I also think that I also agree with Marlon too. I also agree with Marlon and Fuel. With Marlon, I do think women be capping sometimes, and men be capping just to use that to use you and get over and do what they doing. But like Fuel said, if that's the case, in that case, then you don't need to be with them anyway, and it's best you learn within that 90 days. I do think that a relationship without sex, is stronger than a relationship with sex in the beginning. I think that if you build on have an emotional connection instead of a sexual connection, I do think that you'll have more success in a relationship. Yeah. I do think that once sex fades away, the relationship fades away if it was just a sexual relationship.
Exactly.
We'll talk more about that in a few.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's based on who you're dating. I do think that it should be used more, and just not for young people, just in general. Just so you can see where you at mentally, because a lot of times we enter relationships just to have sex. And once the action of sex has taken place, you kind of remove yourself from the relationship. But if you do take the time and take those 90 days and really genuinely get to know that person, it may be more of a sexual chemistry, and you guys may have a more of a no. I know that you guys will build a better foundation.
Yeah, because you really learn about a person in a certain amount of time, in a certain amount of days, whatever. Now, have I ever been? I've never been. No, I take it back. I will take it back. Lord forgive me, because my daughter's mom, and it was longer than 90 days. You know what I mean? And we didn't do nothing until we got married or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing about that is what we learned afterwards or whatever, as opposed to what we learned, because we know each other to the point where even though we didn't do anything up until, we got married or whatever, we ended up still being close friends. You see what I'm saying? And that in that time that we basically didn't do it is because we knew each other. Not just the, just it was just a sex thing or whatever. Once we had sex or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was we knew each other. I knew how religious she was. She knew how wild I probably was. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it was respectful as a person as to who I am and who that person is. You know what I mean? And we ended up as friends and raising our daughter drama without the child support and things like that. So there's always something. There is something good that comes for waiting. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just having. Lynn said, then it should be said up front that it's just sex. I don't like being played. That is true.
I agree with that, but I hear women say that.
Mm-hmm.
And no man or nobody's gonna walk up, hey, I just want to get some ass. I don't want nothing for real.
And she's gonna do it.
And she gonna do it. Rarely does that happen.
That is true. Unless they're on that same page. If you both on the, let's do it. You know what I'm saying?
I do agree though. I think on both sides. I think that the 90-day rule should be said, and the reason why it's in effect should be stated up front, and as well as if it's just about sex, it should be up front. I agree.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you guys, because everybody, not to say that your relationship ain't going to be good because you didn't do the 90-day, deal. That's not the case. It's just the case of certain people that might have been through something and need to learn about a person more, as opposed to, what they've been through with someone that they just jumped in bed with real quick. You know what I mean? And some people, man, why you freezing again? You got. All right, you're right. People need that time, especially if they've been in a bad relationship. They need that time. So what I'm saying is, to you younger cats or whatever, respect that. You know what I'm saying, and give them that or whatever if you really want to get to know that person. But then, like Lynn said, if it's about sex, just be upfront with it. You know what I mean, or whatever. Period. Though. So
yeah. We'll see how far that gets you, though.
Exactly. See how far that gets you. But that takes us right into, is it a relationship or more sexual emotion? And I'll let you go.
Yeah, man. This is a good question. I think that most relationships are sexual. Let's put that out there. Mm-hmm. The reason why I decided with this topic is because in my relationship and then doing therapy, we're doing couples therapy. And then we've also been reading this book, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And it's just telling you how to love your spouse in their primary love language. And then I just thought about how often and how many couples are actually developing an emotional bond with their spouse over sex. How often are we going weeks without sex, or a week or two without sex, but still building in our emotional and our quality time, our physical touch, our acts of services, or our words of affirmation, or whatever the 5 love languages are. How often are we indulging in those and sharing those amongst each other besides just the sex? I think that when the sex is, like I said, about the 90-day rule, when relationships are more sexual, that's all there is to it. And once the sex is done, there's no real conversation. I think an emotional connection allows the two to connect on a deeper level. It's challenging because both people come from different backgrounds and different ways of life and different upbringings. And so bringing those two ideologies and compromising to a compromise can be challenging, can be difficult at times. But I think that the more that you take the time to build the emotional bond within a relationship and let the sexual bond enhance the relationship, I think it's dope.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you think, as far as when it comes to kind of like balancing it, you know what I'm saying, the relationship, the emotional or whatever, do you think one should be more?
What you mean?
Well, I mean, like, is it, you feel like y'all should have, should it be more sex in a relationship, or should it just be more?
I think it should be more of an emotional bond. I think, like I said, I think emotional bond is your foundation. I think the sexual bond enhances the foundation and enhances the relationship. I think that understanding how to connect with your spouse emotionally will actually make your sex better.
Enhances that, yeah.
Enhance the sex. So I think that if we focus more on how we're doing in a relationship and how we approach the relationship, I think that one, the sex would be easier, and then I also think that the sex would be better.
Well, and that I think that's a true fact, because I've been basically, with women where I basically been emotionally involved with them, you know what I'm saying, to the point where we have great. I mean, I just that's so yeah, that's real talk. Do you feel like it's perfectly done? Is it, to try to see, are we going to be emotional before the whole sex thing, whatever? Is that something purposely done, or is it something just should be naturally with this other?
I think it should be intentional.
Intentional. That's what I mean. Yes. Okay.
I think it should be intentional, but I do think that it should be natural though. But it should be an intent behind it. It should be intentional to build the emotional bond over the sexual bond, which to enhance the sexual bond.
And without, you think, what would you feel could cause would you feel like without that, would it cause the relationship serious damage and maybe break
Absolutely.
up?
I think that if you focus too much on emotions and you focus too much on sex, your relationship could probably fall apart. I think that a 75
is it more towards us as men though, because women are emotional.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is a big part for men to do it, but I do think that it's also it's a woman's responsibility to be able to assist us with building that emotional bond, understanding that we don't properly know how to.
Yeah, but now how did that man actually react to that? Like, because sometimes, especially us as men, you know what I'm saying, we're trying to be macho and all emotional, and they feel like that the woman is tripping because she's so emotional or whatever, instead of coming towards her, taking that ride with her. You know what I'm saying? So how would you explain, or how would you recommend someone that's basically, I guess, understanding emotional part of the relationship? You understand? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like you have to make the choice to want to be emotionally connected. I think that once you make the choice to be emotionally connected, you will, like we say, start to get, it's hard, right? Because it's challenging. You will start to lower the ego, lower the pride. It's very challenging, but you will start to do that because you want to build a better emotional bond. I think that if you can't, it starts to show that you are really only really there for the sex anyway, because where there's a challenge, where there's a will, there's a way.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
And where there's a challenge, there's an assignment.
Yep. That's it. Man. Hey, we kind of flowed. That was
good.
That
was good.
That's what's up. All
right.
So
listen, y'all. Make sure y'all send in your dear brother, dear sisters. I'm sick and tired of telling you.
No, sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I'm sick and tired now. Miss Johnson, Mr. McBride, I need some dear brother, dear sisters, man. Send them to. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Our YouTube at Fired Up Broadcasting. But then also make sure you send your dear brothers and dear sister to firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com. You title it Dear Brother, Dear Sister. Make sure it's no more than a minute. It could be audio and video. That's firedupbroadcasting@gmail.com, and we need to hear it. Next week, I'm gonna write one. I'm gonna figure something out. Try, because we need them, man. We need them. That's one of my favorite segments of the show.
What you're gonna write a what? Dear brother, dear sister?
I'm trying to do a dear brother, dear sister.
All right. Well, maybe we both need to do one just to get it back rolling, right?
Yeah, let's get it going because then
Let's
that way they'll feel entitled to do one. Miss Johnson, I'm calling your number.
Right. I see Brenda Okoli. I hope I said that right on Facebook. Hit us up also and subscribe to YouTube so we can see your comments if you want to come in and join in on the conversations that we're having here. Appreciate you tapping in on Facebook and everyone else that's on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Man, that's gonna do it. Hey, real quick before we go, man, what happened to our remember our Players Chronicle?
Oh yeah, we put that
we
put that to the bed with that episode.
Yeah.
That went to bed with the episode. That shit, man.
Yeah.
We almost got everybody in trouble on that, man. That shit was crazy. When I think about it, I was talking reckless, man. I don't know why you let me do it either. Phil.
No, I seen it in the thing on the side right here. I was like, remember Players Chronicle? It was still in the listings here over here. we ain't gonna do that. We ain't getting into that.
We ain't gonna do that. Well, you know what? We make it do it once a month, something for 10 years ago or so.
Right.
Every once in a while we could pop it in there.
What's up? That's what's up. All right, you guys, we appreciate you guys joining us. We appreciate you guys each and every week. Continue, Absolutely. Like Fat Boy said, follow us if you got the Dear Brother, Dear Sisters. Y'all see where they hit us up at right there in the comment section right there. And I guess we'll do it again next week. Oh, next week. What's next week? Yeah, we should be good next week. I have to make sure. We should be good next week. Yeah. But yeah, and if you guys got any comments that you guys, or I mean not comments, any topics that y'all want us to talk about, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? And firedup@gmail.com as well. Hit us, just drop us a note or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can even messenger, hit us in Messenger or something like that or whatever. And we'll get into it. We'll get into it, man. You got anything else, Fat Boy?
No, that's it, man. Like I said, just make sure y'all send them Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters. Make sure y'all follow us on Twitter as well. Make sure y'all share the show after the show, TikTok. Before the show. Make sure y'all follow TikTok as well.
Yeah.
We here. I always appreciate y'all showing up. I appreciate y'all commenting and contributing feedback to the show and to the dialect of the show. I appreciate it. It's very dope. And y'all have a blessed one, man. I'm gonna see y'all next week. Same time, same bad channel. You understand?
That's right. All right. And remember,
if they talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace. Love y'all, man.
All our illusions will get the parade, and all the reasons start to fade.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Reasons, the show where you can give your reasons why you think what you feel about what we're talking about today. We should know this, man. We started now.
Dear brother, how do y'all deal with erectile dysfunction when you're in a relationship?
I wouldn't know how to do it unless I had it. And remember, if they're talking about you behind your back, they behind you for a reason. Peace.